Sponsored by the Big 98, Nashville's #1 for new country and the home of the Bobby Bones Show.
We're so happy to have on award-winning singer, songwriter, guitarist, a man who does it all with a lot of new singles coming out right now also, Troy Castellano.
Hey, how you doing, Eric?
Good to see you, Troy.
Thanks for having me today.
It's always a pleasure to hang out with you and talk about your great songs and your charities and everything else you do. And I wanted to bring this up. You know, originally you were looking at launching your whole EP around this time, but now that's going to be delayed because you're doing it single by single.
Yeah.
And you have a new single coming out,
Yep.
you know, In My Jeans.
In My Jeans, yep. It's a song about kind of my bloodline and things about your DNA that you probably are predispositioned for.
Right.
You know, where like, you know, whether it's the music or maybe the how you love, you know, but it's a song about the things in your genes that you can't really control. It's just how you are, and it's in your blood.
Well, you know, and on Spotify too, with your channel on there, you know, they've already got, you know, 2 of your singles out.
Yeah.
You know, which, you know, Hell We Raised, you know, has done very well. It's like, I love the sound of your voice on these songs.
Thank you.
And I know that you've been heading up different songwriter sessions around here too, songwriter rounds in Nashville.
Yeah.
And so your next big one's going to be probably in the fall.
Yeah, for the Instruments for Education benefit. Yeah, so we're still working on a venue there. I will be announcing that on the website and on the social pages as well.
Great. And then you're still doing your regular songwriter rounds though too.
Yep. Been out playing a little more these days.
I've noticed.
I took a little time off like everybody else did a few years back, and now I'm back at it, and just like I miss it, and I need the stage time, keep the chops up. Right?
Well, and I think also you do such a great job, Troy, to where, you know, you showcase other artists and really bring attention to them with their songs and everything. And you've had placement across so many channels. I mean, with CMT, with Discovery and all this, with your music. Any new things coming up with that?
Not any new placements, but I've had video picked up by the Country Network, which is an up-and-coming country music video channel. And they are interested in seeing a new video that I'm working on right now. I'm in the middle of it. It's for Hell We Raised.
Right.
So that hopefully we'll have that out before the beginning of July.
How incredible.
So I'm trying to shoot it in a way where we have the idea is for me getting in my truck here in Tennessee and driving by my old haunts in Minnesota.
Right.
So,
you know, I love that too, because I mean, you and I both, you know, having been up in the Twin Cities in Minnesota and everything so much, so whenever I get random information about Minnesota, I feel like I have to send it to you.
Yeah, I've seen them.
And you've lost so much of your, you know, you don't have the Minnesotan, like you don't say photograph or anything. It's like, you know, you've been here in Nashville 8 years now?
Yeah, 9 years. 9 years, like July 16th.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So do you fall back into your accent when you go back home?
Oh boy, it is easy to, you know. Oh yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah. And it's like, it's so funny because, like, you know, just with the food and everything, you know, the big festival and fairs and everything they have up there, you know, with that whole side of the city.
Yeah.
It's just a great time.
Yeah, the state fair is like crazy with the food that they have, you know, deep fried everything.
Cheese curds.
Yeah.
You got to have
Snickers
the fish.
bars.
Right. It's like amazing.
Fried alligator.
Yeah, I mean, I remember getting the cookies too. I can't remember the cookies. They give them to you like in a cone, and they flatten them out on top of in the cone.
Yeah, Martha's cookies.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know.
There's a line out that booth, you know, for blocks.
Right, and you get the whole thing there, and it's like going, I can't. And you play shows up there.
Yeah. I got some coming up here this summer. Been very fortunate. I put out that single for Hell We Raised, which was kind of about my hometown and where I grew up, which has two kind of really cool things that go through the town. One is the Rum River, and then the Whiskey Road that follows the river.
Yeah.
So I kind of wrote about that, and then it took off up there, and it's been getting some secondary radio, which is really cool. And venues have been reaching out to book me, and they've sold out. So I've got like 4 sold out shows here between June and July.
How amazing. You're like a hometown hero.
Yeah, I think it's the Nashville thing, you know?
It's not bad. Well, I got to brag on you too, to where you recently got endorsed by a very popular guitar company that I own a few of also, Godin.
Yeah, Godin Guitars. Very fortunate. They sent me a couple of acoustic guitars to check out, and I fell in love. And I sent them a very nice email, and they reached back saying, how would you like to be a full-on endorser of Godin Guitars?
You know, that doesn't happen to everybody.
No,
it has
so
to be, you know,
grateful.
with the music, you know, and with your songwriting and everything else, to have a company like that, come and partner with you.
Yeah, and they just build some phenomenal guitars. Like they're some of the best I've played. You know, you put it in the rack, and next day you pull it out, it's still in tune. It's right on the money.
Yeah, and
Beautiful.
especially for you, touring between, you know, it's like the climate's just a smidge different in Nashville than up north. Having a stable instrument is very important.
Yeah. Man, if you only seen my Les Paul that I left out in the cold truck overnight, it's still in great shape, but the checking on it is just crazy. It's really cool.
It's kind of like you had the Murphy design, but done by nature.
Yeah, for sure. It's like, I'll have to show you a picture.
I'll have to see it. Well, I wanted to bring up also your charity, which, you know, I'm glad that I had the opportunity to donate some things to your incredible charity.
Yes, thank you.
And I want to talk about what you have going for the schools with this.
Instruments for Education, it's an organization that I started in 2018 where we collect instruments and donate them to Middle Tennessee students, teachers, and schools. And I'm very proud of the fact that since 2018 we've donated over 500 instruments. Wow. And you know, it's great because the instruments keep coming in as they go out. You know, we're blessed to have instruments come in as well, and you donated some stuff today.
And so. I'll donate more, and I hope more of our viewers also reach out to you. I want to make sure at the end of the interview you give that website and everything.
Yes.
To me, and you and I were talking before we came in studio, Troy, it's such an important thing with our young people, you know, that I think music, certainly for you and I and so many of us here in Nashville and in other cities, it's just playing music and being a part of it just makes you better, makes you happier. And so maybe, you know, you're not on your screen and on your phone and your computer so much. You're playing some music, you're hanging out with friends, you're writing songs.
Yeah, you're doing just something jamming together. Like, you know, if you get a couple kids into the instruments and they're playing, they can play together, they can learn together. It's kind of like riding a bike. If you get over that hump, you're never going to forget how to do it, and it's going to be a part of your life the whole time. And it's like you basically are, like you said, getting them off of screens and into a more real life environment.
I think it's one of those gifts, you know, music to me and in my life, and I know yours, it's just something that's always given back so much more to me.
Yeah.
And, you know, whether, you know, it's like before I came in studio today, I was sitting around playing a Martin bass for a little while, and it's like going, okay, I feel better now.
It's definitely therapy. Music is therapy for the creators, for sure.
It is.
Because that's what it'll do. Like if you're in a somber mood or in a bad mood or something and you just go play guitar, it changes everything.
It does, the whole dynamic.
Yeah.
And you just told me too that, you know, you had a lady donate like 60 instruments too that you're going to be setting up to give to children, and you've got other people coming in to where they're doing guitar teaching, setting up guitars and amplifiers for those.
Yep.
I don't know how you keep the time to still to write songs and tour and do all the great things you do and working out a Blue Heaven studio.
Yeah, thank you.
And handle this charity at the same time.
It is a juggle for sure. You know, this is what I fight with every day, things that I need to make sure. I got to make my lists in order to keep on top of that stuff.
Well, and I need to schedule you in. With your schedule, it's like, you know, you're like, Eric, I've got a window here. I'm like, we're getting you on there.
Yeah.
And so, you know, just to be able to talk about all these great things that you're doing, but also the great things happening in your life with your singles and everything doing so well. And I know those are going to be combined into an EP.
Yes, exactly.
You know, down the road. And then with the Godan, you know, endorsement.
Yeah.
It's like a lot of great things.
Thank you. Yeah, and I gotta step back and be thankful for that stuff because you're so involved with whatever chase it is, whether it's music or the instruments thing. It's like you gotta take a step back and be grateful what comes at you because
you've achieved so much. You know, before you came, you know, to Nashville, you know, 9 years ago, you know, up north in Minneapolis, but then down here, being immersed in the culture and the great things you're doing. I want to make sure for our viewers, you know, they know where to go for the Instruments for Education, but also for your music, Troy. You know, where do they need to go for the different, you know, the websites, the social media, all of it?
Instruments for Education is instrumentsforeducation.org, and you can get to the socials from there as well. And then my website is troycastellano.com.
And there's going to be more singles coming out, more videos, and we're going to see you playing Godan guitars.
Yes.
And more shows.
Every round that I'm on, I'll be playing them Godans. And the electrics in the studio, too.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's just amazing. I still got to come by Blue Heaven Studio.
Yeah, you got to stop by.
Yeah, we've got to check it out. be sure and follow, be a part of this charity. Troy's doing great work here in Nashville and around the whole area with getting instruments and musical gear into kids' hands, which we both think is so important.
Yeah.
And you want to be a part of that, but also go see this guy live. He's doing songwriter rounds all over, sold out shows. Get your tickets early. His songs are incredible. It's like kind of country, kind of rock. It's a mix in between, and I love it both. And his new singles, new videos, so many great things. Troy, thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Troy Castellano.
Sponsored by the Big 98, Nashville's #1 for new country and the home of the Bobby Bones Show.